I'd like to call the caucus to order. I will ask for nominations for caucus chairman and caucus clerk. For those nominations, I will now recognize the chair of the Board of Selectmen.
Thank you. I'd like to nominate James Rapetti and Darlene Heike for chairman and clerk.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I will call for a voice vote for James Rapetti for caucus chairman and Darlene Heike for caucus clerk. A voice vote.
Aye.
Jim?
That's a tough act to follow. Thank you. This caucus is held under the provisions of Mass General Laws, Chapter 53, Sections 117 to 121. We have a town election scheduled for May 18, 2020, and our purpose tonight is to nominate a maximum of 2 candidates for each open office in that election. I would like the following processes to apply, and after I explain it, I will ask you to approve these processes. 1, a ballot must be cast and counted for those offices for which there are more than 2 candidates. The 2 persons receiving the highest number of votes shall be the caucus nominees. All nominees must receive the votes of at least 8% of those attending the caucus. Several years ago, we decided to allow the caucus clerk to cast a single ballot on behalf of the caucus in those instances where there are not more than 2 nominees, and count ballots only for those offices for which 2 or more persons are nominated. The person nominating a candidate may spend 2 minutes speaking for his or her candidate. There are no seconding speeches, but I would like to hear a clear and concise second from the floor. The candidates will be introduced at the time of nomination and may speak briefly for no more than 2 minutes if they wish. 3, at the close of nominations, candidates will be introduced again and their names will be displayed on the easel to my left to your right. If necessary, voting will occur after the completion of nominations for all offices to be filled. And remember, we'll only have to vote if we have more than 2 nominees for each position that we're considering tonight. All nominees must accept the caucus nomination by signing the caucus certificate, which Felicia has at the table. Please do not leave before signing the certificate. It's very important that you sign the certificate before you leave so that you will be formally designated as a candidate. If a nominee is not present tonight, he or she must sign the caucus certificate at the town clerk's office by Monday, March 16th at 3 p.m. So I know there's at least one candidate who wasn't able to make it tonight, so she'll have to sign it by Monday, March 16th at 3 p.m. To summarize, we will not have a vote if there are not more than 2 candidates for each position. If there are more than 2 candidates nominated for the position, we have a written ballot that Felicia will be distributing at the end of the meeting. Are there any questions about this process? May I have a voice vote adopting it for the purposes of this caucus? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Anyone who wishes to run for office may, as an alternative to seeking the caucus nomination, secure nomination papers from the town clerk. Nomination papers will be available on Thursday, March 12th, and must be submitted to the Board of Registrars by Tuesday, March 31st by 4 p.m. 39 signatures of registered voters from the town of Dover are required to have a valid nomination by use of papers. So again, the deadline will be Tuesday, March 31st at 4 p.m., and 39 signatures will be required. I would now like to briefly recuse myself because I have a conflict of interest with respect to the first nomination. I turn the podium over to Felicia Hoffman. Thank you.
I will now accept nominations for the office of Moderator for a 1-year term. Please.
Peg Crowley, 7 Cedar Hill Road. I am very happy to nominate Jim Rapetti for a 1-year term as town moderator. Jim brings to this position a very impressive background. He's a graduate of Harvard University, Boston College Law School, is currently a professor at Boston College Law School, and the author of many articles and books on taxes and tax policies, our favorite subject. Jim and his wife Susan have lived in Dover for many years, raised their 3 children here. During that time, Jim has served on a multitude of committees. He was a Boy Scout leader for many years, leading the Eagle Scout program. He lends his skills as a ham radio operator to the Emergency Management Committee. And during his years as moderator, he has over and over demonstrated his skills in managing to listen, to direct, to discern, and to keep order in potentially conflicting situations at town meeting. So I would ask for your vote tonight for Jim, and again in May. Thank you.
Do I have a second? Jim, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, Peg. I just wanted to thank all of you for helping us try to make town meeting as efficient as possible. As the town has grown, it has become more difficult to have a meeting in one evening, and the town boards have been great in cooperating with us to try to streamline their presentations. We now limit presentations to 8 minutes by committee, and we ask that persons from the floor limit their comments to 2 minutes. And that efficiency has enabled us so far, knock on wood, to keep our meetings to one evening. It is a constant challenge, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for the work that you do ahead of the town meeting to streamline your presentations and to provide the maximum amount of information to the town voters, and I recognize what is a very short period of time. So thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to serve you again. Thanks.
Are there any other nominations for the position of moderator? Hearing none, I declare the position closed. I will now turn the podium over to Mr. Repetti.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll start the remainder of the nomination process. Our first position is for town clerk for a 3-year term. Do I have any nominations? Yes, Ms. Weld.
Kathy Well, 29 Main Street, and I'd like to nominate Felicia Hoffman for town clerk.
Do I hear a second? Thank you, Ms. Weld.
Thank you. Felicia has done a terrific job as our town clerk these past several years. She's knowledgeable, she's conscientious, circumspect, and is very attentive to detail, all critical qualities for this particular job. Not only does she maintain all the town records and run all the the local, state, and federal elections, take the census, issue dog licenses and marriage licenses, but she also keeps us committee members in line and operating according to state law most of the time. all of the time, that's right. Felicia's on all of the time. All of us sometimes don't live up to those standards, but we try. She's cheerful, warm, and welcoming, and a longtime resident of Dover who loves and knows this town well. And I can't think of a better person to serve in this particular role. I urge your support for Felicia.
Thank you, Ms. Weld. Are there any other nominations for town clerk? Felicia, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Kathy. I'm very happy to accept the nomination, and I didn't realize I worked so hard, so thank you all very much.
Thank you, Felicia. Hearing no further nominations for town clerk, I declare the nomination process for town clerk closed. Next, we have one position for the Board of Selectmen for a 3-year term. Do I have any nominations? Yes, Ms. Canny.
Hello, my name's Kate Canny. I live at 7 Cross Street, and it's my honor to nominate Robin Hunter.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
As I said, it's my honor to nominate a colleague and a friend for another term as Board of Selectmen. Robin and family have lived here in Dover for 23 years, and during that time, she has served our community by her tenure on the Regional School Committee, Long Range Planning, Warrant Committee, Capital Budget Committee, and the Board of Selectmen. And she has, with great vigor and energy, spearheaded such programs as becoming part of the Green Communities Act, the solar array. She works on very tirelessly negotiating the school committee, school contracts every year. And when I thought about this, I thought, what is the thoughtful leadership style that our town needs and deserves? And that is Robin. It's because she brings intellect, kindness, poise, collaboration, and very, very importantly, humor to the position. So to sum Robin up, I think she brings the right balance of providing the best services for town residents while always maintaining fiscal responsibility. So I hope you'll all support my friend Robin.
Thank you, Kate. Are there any other nominations for Board of Selectmen? Ms. Hunter, are you going to make a nomination, sir, Mr. Cox? Or would you like to come to the microphone? I'm sorry? Well, I'll have both nominees speak after. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Ms. Hunter.
Thank you, Kate. You make me sound really great. So I've served the town for many years, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to serve for the next 3 years. We are embarking on a lot of change. We have a new town administrator. We're trying to modernize things for the town. We're trying to stabilize the tax rate for all of the citizens, and I really hope to continue with all the work that we've started. So I urge you all, and I hope you will all support me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hunter. Hearing no other nominations for, Mr. Cox, you had raised, you're not making another nomination. I just wanted to be sure. Okay. No, that's okay. That's all right. I'm constantly confused. Thank you. Okay, hearing no other nominations for Board of Selectmen, I declare nominations for that position closed. Next position is the Town Assessor. It's a 3-year term. Are there any nominations for Town Assessor? Yes, Mr. Cox.
Bob Cox, 14 Cedar Hill Road. It's my pleasure to nominate Bonnie Akins for a 3-year term on the Board of Assessors.
Do I hear a second? Nomination has been seconded.
Bonnie has been a Town of Dover resident for quite some time and has been actively involved in town government, serving on the Warrant Committee, the Capital Budget Committee, Long Range Planning Committee, Bylaw Review Committee, and Historical Commission. She served on the Board of Assessors for over 19 years and is currently on the board for a 1-year unfinished term. Bonnie's depth of experience in town government has made her a valuable asset on the board. She willingly shares her knowledge and is insightful and compassionate when deliberating on assessor issues. I hope you will favorably consider Bonnie as caucus candidate for the Board of Assessors.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. Ms. Akins, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Bob, and I'm very happy to keep it up.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for Assessor? Hearing none, I declare nominations for the Board of Assessor closed. Next, we have 2 positions for Dover School Committee, each being a 3-year term. And again, just to summarize the rules, if we have only 2 nominees for each of those 2 positions, in other words, if we have 4 nominees in total, we do not have to have a vote. The caucus will be deemed to have approved them. If we have more than 4 nominees, then we will proceed to a paper vote, ballot, and a vote at the end of the meeting. So I'll be considering nominations for 2 positions, 3-year terms for the Dover School Committee. Do I have any nominees? Yes, ma'am. Why don't you come up to the microphone?
Good evening, Miranda Ulrich, 35 Hartford Street. I'm very proud, and it's my great pleasure to nominate Carissa Hayden to the Dover School Committee.
Do I hear a second? Did you get the name? Do you have the name okay?
Carissa Hayden.
Okay, thank you. And that nomination has been seconded. Thank you, ma'am.
Carissa has lived in Dover since 2015 with her husband and her 2 children, whom are 3 and 5, in preschool and kindergarten. She graduated from Northeastern University and then worked over a decade in business development. Since being part of the Dover community, Carissa has made countless contributions, including playing an active role in the Dover Mothers Association, serving as a room parent for multiple years, and volunteering her time, effort, and ideas to several town and school events. I met Carissa in 2015, and I continuously witness her engagement, commitment, and dedication to the community. She's one of the most fair, thoughtful, diligent, and caring individuals that I know. The community would be very fortunate to have Carissa serve in this important role. Thank you.
Thank you. Carissa, before I ask you to come up, I'll ask for the other nominees, and then we can have people make their presentations. Are there any other nominees? Yes, ma'am. Why don't you come up to the microphone? Thank you.
Hi, Leslie Leon, 15 Valley Road. I would like to nominate Colleen Burt for the 3-year term on the Dover School Committee. Colleen grew up in Annapolis, Maryland, attended Fordham University as well as Boston University, where she received her master's degree in clinical social work. She has worked as an educator in California, Maryland, and Massachusetts. She has dedicated her studies to children's needs and services. Her background will be positively beneficial in the role of a school committee member. Colleen has a child in 1st grade as well as one in 3rd grade. She has lived in Dover for 7 years, during which she has volunteered countless hours at Chickering. She is currently a volunteer for the 3rd grade curriculum enrichment program, as well as a room parent for the 1st grade. She was nominated to the School Advisory Committee in its inaugural year, this year, 2019-2020. Additionally, she volunteers on the fields with the children, where she serves as a volunteer soccer coach. Colleen is an extremely engaged parent and would undoubtedly contribute to the committee in a meaningful way. She has dedicated her life to being an educator, therapist, and parent, and I enthusiastically nominate Colleen for this role.
Thank you. Do I hear a second for the nomination? Okay, nomination has been seconded. Thank you. Are there any other nominations for school committee? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Leslie Leon again. I would also like to nominate Sarah Dunn for the 3-year term on the Dover School Committee. Sarah moved to Dover 8 years ago.
Excuse me, ma'am, could you repeat that name again?
Sarah Dunn.
Sharon Dunn.
Sarah
okay.
Dunn, yep.
Do I hear a second for that nomination? Okay, very good. Proceed. Thank you.
Okay. Sarah moved to Dover 8 years ago. She's a graduate of Harvard College and Harvard Law School. She has practiced as an attorney at Ropes & Gray for 11 years and most recently taken on the role of stay-at-home mom. In my eyes, this is her most demanding role. She has a daughter in 2nd grade at Chickering. Sarah has spent countless hours volunteering in the community since her arrival. She has served as secretary of the PTO Executive Board for the past 2 years and has served as room parent for her daughter's classroom. Personally, I've had the privilege to work with her on the curriculum enrichment program, where we both served as curriculum enrichment volunteers. I can attest that she is always prepared, thoughtful, and thorough in her volunteer activities. I have always looked to Sarah, and I thought that our community is very lucky to have her because she's so committed to the children. All in all, she's not only well-credentialed, but she's extremely dedicated to this community. She should be such a wonderful addition to the Dover School Committee.
Thank you very much. Do I hear any other nominations for school committee? Okay, if I could ask Ms. Hayden and then Ms. Burke and Ms. Dunn to come up and make a brief 2-minute presentation. Ms. Hayden, if you'd like to go first.
Sure. First of all, thank you, Miranda, for your support and your confidence. It means a lot to me. Dover is a wonderful town with excellent schools, and that's a big part of the reason that my family and I feel so happy and proud to be raising our children here. I welcome any opportunity to serve the many, many families that make this community the wonderful space that it is, and I hope I get the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Hayden. Ms. Burke?
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie, for your support of my candidacy and encouraging me to run in the first place. I've really been gratified by the work I've been able to do in the schools so far. I've been in the classroom a lot with the curriculum enrichment, especially this year, third grade. It has robust programming. I've also been really enjoying my work with school advisory because it's been reinforcing all the reasons why we moved to Dover, which were the schools mainly, and seeing a day in the life of Chickering. If anyone here ever has an opportunity to do that, it was amazing. To see what really goes on behind the scenes really reinforces all the reasons we moved here. I see Peg, who sold us our home. Thank you. So anyway, I really hope to work at a deeper level with the schools, so I hope I have the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Dunn?
Good evening. My name is Sarah Gutierrez Dunn, and I do want to thank Leslie for your kind words. The strength of Dover schools was a primary reason that my husband and I chose to move here nearly 8 years ago, and we are so glad that we did. I would be honored and privileged to have the opportunity to serve on the school committee, and if chosen, I would bring my strong work ethic, an open mind, a willingness to learn, and a willingness to listen. I'm an attorney by trade, and so I have represented several schools in my tenure, and so I am familiar with the education landscape, and I would just be honored to give back to the community in this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Are there any other nominations for school committee? Hearing none, I declare nominations for Dover School Committee closed. Since there are only 3 nominees for 2 positions, we will not have to have a paper ballot for this position. These nominees will be deemed approved by the town clerk at the close of the meeting. Our next position is the Dover Sherburne Regional School Committee. We have 1 position that's open for a 1-year term, and then we will be considering positions for 1 position for a 3-year term. So first we'll consider the position that is for 1 year for the Dover Regional School Committee, Dover Sherburne Regional School Committee. Do I hear any nominations? Yes, ma'am. Could you come up to the microphone, please? Thank you.
I'm Sarah Cahoon, and I've lived in Dover since 2007. I nominate my friend and neighbor, Ray Huang, for a 1-year term on the Dover Sherburne Regional Committee. Ray has lived in Dover since 2016. She and her husband, Jerry, have a kindergartner at Chickering School. I believe that she would be a great asset to the Dover Sherburne Regional Committee with her strong background in academics. Ray holds a PhD in business administration with a specialization in management information systems from the University of Oklahoma. She currently teaches at the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth, and has over 10 years of experience in college instruction. Ray has held a variety of university-level administrative positions, such as being a student, faculty, academic affairs committee member, program coordinator for Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, Management Information Systems Internship Coordinator, Course Curriculum Coordinator, and Faculty Program Coordinator for the Undergraduate Navitas Pathway Program. She loves living in Dover and has currently served on Dover's Technology Advisory Board since its inception almost a year ago. In Ray's own words, I am running for the Dover Sherburne Regional School Committee because I want to help make our excellent schools even better so that our children will continue to grow and thrive in a nurturing and stimulating educational environment. I have the knowledge and passion to help foster the development of essential skills that our children need to succeed in college and beyond. With my background in higher education, I believe that I can help equip our students with skills for the 21st century and to prepare them for future jobs. Thank you for considering Ray for this position.
Thank you. Do I hear a second for the nomination? Okay, nomination has been seconded. Are there any other nominations for the 1-year term for the Dover Sherburne Regional School Committee? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Lynn Collins, 16 Schaffner Lane. It is my absolute honor to nominate Maggie Sharon for the one-year term on the Regional School Committee. Maggie is currently the Vice Chair of the Regional School Committee. She's been on the Regional School Committee since 2017. She has served numerous roles on that committee, including liaison to the High School Council, a member of various hiring teams, and an active participant in the Employee Benefits Subcommittee. Maggie holds a master's degree in curriculum and instruction. She has a postgraduate certificate in educational leadership. She is a school administrator in a nearby town and brings the perspective of a professional educator to her role for the region. She looks forward to continuing to support the implementation of the district's strategic plan, participating on committees, working on innovative teaching and learning, and providing historical context, as well as welcoming new members to the committee. And I can say on a personal level as a member of the Regional School Committee that her passion, her practical approach to matters that come to the committee makes her an invaluable member of the committee, and especially to me as a new member. And as such, it is my absolute honor to nominate Maggie Sharon for a one-year term on the Regional School Committee.
Thank you very much. And we have a second already. Just want to confirm that. Very good. Are there any other nominees? Okay. Is Ms. Huang here tonight? She's not here. How about Ms. Sharon? Would you like to make a few comments, ma'am?
Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'm delighted to join you here at the caucus today, seeking your nomination again to represent Dover as a candidate to the Dover Regional School Committee. As a career educator and school administrator in a neighboring district, I've been able to leverage my knowledge around education to benefit the students and families of the region and the tax-paying citizens of Dover. I hope to continue this good work in my next term as one of your Regional School Committee representatives. A robust school system forms the bedrock of any community, and our schools set the tone for our towns as they help our children grow into articulate, committed, empowered, and capable adults, ready to take on their own part in society. Over the past 3 years, the Regional School Committee has seen leadership changes in the central office, as well as in a few key positions within the district. We've supported the implementation of a district-wide strategic plan that has fostered the growth and seen improvement in our regional schools. Changes we have supported have helped Dover-Sherburne prepare students for a future that we can't even imagine and that is coming faster than we think. It's really exciting work. As a member of the Employee Benefits Subcommittee, we've examined and made changes to our health insurance options for our employees. Along with the town of Dover, we began offering high-deductible plans that benefit both insured and the region. We've addressed a long-standing disparity between cost-sharing and OPEB benefits for regional employees versus town employees, and this year we've been able to set up an OPEB trust to ensure that we're prepared to fund our obligations to our retired employees at the region. This work has put the region on excellent financial footing for the future, which is important for all of us as we consider our role as residents and stewards of our taxes and our town. The school department is the most significant investment that Dover taxpayers make each year, and we need to be careful and respectful stewards of these resources. I'll continue to use my institutional knowledge and experience in education and public schools to advocate for policies and decisions that make sense for our community and for our students. I'll be a staunch advocate for Dover at the region and would be grateful for the opportunity to be of service to our community again in this way. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I declare the nominations for the one-year term of the Dover-Sherburne Regional School Committee closed. We now move to the three-year term for the Dover-Sherburne Regional School Committee. There is one position open for the three-year term. Do I hear any nominations? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good evening. My name is Goli Seper from 35 Brookfield Road. I'm very pleased to nominate Dr. Lulu Fan tonight for a position at the Dover-Sherburne Regional School Committee for a three-year term.
Do I hear a second? Nomination has been seconded. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. Lulu is from Newton and has been a Dover resident for the past 12 years. Her twin boys have been in Chickering for the past 3 years. She received her doctorate of pharmacy from Northeastern and an MBA from Cornell. Lulu currently works at Atrius Health as the Director of Pharmacy Operations. I have the pleasure of knowing Lulu as a fellow Dover mom, as well as a colleague and a friend. So I can claim I know her very well, both professionally and personally. First and foremost, she is a great mom who takes really wonderful care of her kids. She loves our beautiful town of Dover and is very passionate about the well-being of our community at large. She has been a member of the Dover Moms Association and has been an engaged parent with Chickering. Lulu has tremendous experience at serving other committees, at work dealing with complex issues. She'll be able to apply her expertise towards what she loves and cares about the most, our children. She is also a long-term member of other committees, including Northeastern University School of Pharmacy Admissions Committee and others. Why do I think Lulu is a perfect candidate for this position? She is educated and values education, loves the Dover community, and would like to give back to where her heart is. She also has the right tools to serve as a committee member. Most importantly, she is a team player and would easily get along with all the existing committee members working on collaborative tasks. I highly recommend Lulu for this position. As a responsible, knowledgeable, and passionate parent, I'm confident that she will be a wonderful addition to our already great Dover-Sherborne Regional School Committee.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for the 3-year term for the Dover-Sherborne Regional School Committee? Yes, ma'am. If you could come to the microphone, please. Thank you.
Hi, Maggie Sharon, 28 Ledgewood Drive. I am nominating Lynn Collins for a 3-year term to the Regional School Committee.
Do I hear a second? Nomination has been seconded. Go ahead. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm proud tonight to be here to nominate Ms. Lynn Collins for a 3-year term on the Dover School Committee. Lynn is an attorney, and prior to joining the Regional School Committee, worked as an attorney at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Massachusetts for 16 years, where she advised on labor, employment, and employee benefits matters, as well as in nonprofit corporate governance issues. Lynn has served as a member of the Dover Cultural Council from 2017 until 2018, and was chair through 2019, and also has served as the chair of the Dover PTO Curriculum Enrichment Program at Chickering Elementary School from 2014 to 2016. She is a member of the Board of Directors and the Human Resources Subcommittee of the Community Music Center in Boston, a music school that serves underprivileged youth in the Boston area, and recently has joined the board of the Dover-Sherborne Metco Scholarship Fund. Lynn was appointed last spring to fill an unexpected vacancy on our committee. In this role, she has served as a liaison to the Athletic Advisory Committee and the Dover-Sherborne Boosters. Over the past year, she has worked thoughtfully and diligently in that role, but has also provided invaluable assistance to us as a member of the policy team and the negotiations subcommittee. Lynn approaches all her work with careful analysis and has brought a fresh perspective to our body this year. She pays close attention to the details, but never loses the big picture. I'm very excited to nominate her to represent the region in the upcoming election. And on a personal note, when we had an unexpected vacancy to fill, and her name was recommended to us to interview and to find a new person, which is what happens when that happens in town. Lynn, we interviewed, a number of us interviewed her over lunch, and we promised her that day that really it wouldn't be a lot of work. It's an easy lift, we said. Don't worry, nobody will ask very much of you. And it turns out Lynn is very good at what she does. She's very careful at her work as an attorney, thoughtful, and has a broad perspective. And she was quickly scooped up by the policy subcommittee. And those of us who have served on that in the past, I can see the knowing looks. It's really a lot of work. And the negotiation subcommittee, where we told her, please, this is really important. It could go south really fast. And through all of that work, she never cracked. She never said no. And we really I cannot express enough of my personal appreciation that on that lunch, where we promised it wouldn't be a really big deal, she said yes, and she has done really amazing work for our town. And so with that, I'm really pleased to.
Thank you very much. Are there any other nominations? Okay, Dr. Fahn, would you like to make a few comments?
Good evening, and thank you, Goalie, so much for your kind words. I'm very humbled and consider it the greatest honor to be considered at a seat at the Regional School Committee. And I think our goal and my goal certainly will be invest in the future of our children. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Collins?
Thank you. I should have ordered a much more expensive entree at that lunch. I am absolutely honored to be seeking nomination for the Regional School Committee. As Maggie said, I was sort of recruited to fill in for a year and found it thoroughly enjoyable. As Maggie said, I am an attorney. I practiced for 20 years, primarily in employment and labor, and did quite a bit of advising on corporate governance matters, which really came in handy in this particular role, much more than I expected. There's a lot of, obviously, employment matters that Robin and I have had to deal with, negotiating the teacher contract and a number of the contracts for the rest of the school personnel. There are a number of corporate governance matters that come up over the course, how meetings are handled, and just overall my general expertise in employment matters sort of is relevant to overseeing and being, as Maggie said, a steward of citizens' tax dollars and overseeing a very significant school system. And again, it's been a joy. I've been in. My husband and I have lived in the Dover Sherburne area for. He's the math guy. Okay, he's whispering 21 years. We were in Sherburne for 11. We were in Dover for 10. Our kids have gone through all of the school systems. Both of our kids are extremely different, so I've had exposure to every aspect of the Dover Sherburne school systems, from the athletics to the arts to the guidance office to special education to everything. And when Maggie asked me to fill in, as I didn't think twice, because it would be my absolute honor to serve this town and this school, because it has given so much to our family in so many different ways. So again, I'm honored to be nominated, and thank you.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, I declare nominations for the 3-year term of the Dover Sherburne Regional School Committee closed. We next move to Library Trustee. We have 2 positions. One's a 2-year position, and then we have a 3-year position where there are 2 openings. So first we'll consider the one opening for a 2-year position as Library Trustee. Are there any nominations? Yes, ma'am.
Judy Schultz of 25 Saddle Ridge Road. I very happily nominate Ami Tahani to the 2-year term for Library Trustee.
Do I hear a second? Nomination has been seconded. Proceed.
I don't have anything prepared because I'm stepping in for somebody who was supposed to be here but wasn't able to make it. But I have had the pleasure of working with Ame on a number of different projects. She has led a very robust Friends of the Dover Library Group and has been an integral part of really doing outreach and making that a very, very important part. I don't know if everyone in the room realizes that the services, the programs, the passes that you all enjoy at the library are paid by the Friends. This is not something that is paid through your taxes, so it's a really crucial part, and Ame has been tremendous in her leadership of that. And she's also the incoming president of the PTO, which is a very important role and voice to also be heard at the library. So thank you, and vote for MA.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for the 2-year position as library trustee? Is Ms. Tejan here? Yes.
Hi, my name is Ami Tajani. I'm very excited to have the possibility of serving our town in this way. I've been involved with the Friends of the Library for 4 years, 2 years as secretary, a year as president, and now as advisor. I love the library, and I'm excited to serve the town in this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tajani. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I declare nominations for the 2-year term for library trustee closed. We now move to the 3-year term for library trustee, and there are 2 openings. Are there any nominations for? Yes, ma'am.
Hello again, Ami Tajani of 41 Claybrook Road. I'm very excited to nominate Judy Schultz. She has served on as a trustee for 2 terms now. This would be her 3rd term. She's co-chairing. She's led the library through a very robust long-range planning. So I enthusiastically nominate Judy.
Do I hear a second? Nomination has been seconded. Are there any other nominations? We have 2 openings. Yes, ma'am.
Judy Schultz of 25 Saddle Ridge Road. I would like to nominate Peter Hoffman for a 3-year term as library trustee.
Do I hear a second? Felicia, did you get that? Okay, good. Thank you. You proceed, ma'am.
I do have something prepared here. Peter is an attorney who lives on Circle Drive with his wife and 2 kids. His son is an 8th grader at Dover Sherburne Middle School, while his daughter is a 5th grader at Chickering. Peter and his family have lived in Dover for 11 years. He is currently serving his 5th and final term as Community Outreach Chair of the Dover PTO. Peter is also a member of the Dover Democratic Town Committee and has been elected by his fellow Dover Democrats to represent the committee at State Democratic Convention each of the last 3 years. So I very enthusiastically nominate.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Okay, Ms. Schultz, would you like to, is Ms. Schultz here? Would you like to say a few words?
So many times up, yes. As Ame said, this is would be my 3rd term as library trustee. Library is a place very dear to me. I am a long-time Dover resident and graduate of Chickering and Dover Sherburne High School. I moved to town when the library was being opened over there when it used to be a tiny little space over here. It's a great place to visit. The long-range plan, we're trying to really do tremendous outreach to the various groups in town. We want to work with the Council on Aging. We want to work with the schools. We want to work with the Boy Scouts. We want to work with all the groups in town and really try to diminish the silo aspects, and the library is the place where really the community does come together. So I appreciate the nomination. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hoffman?
Oh, wow. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Hi, so I'm congratulations on your nomination. I'm going to go sit down now. No. Thank you very much. I'm very honored. Thank you, Judy, for the nomination. I am honored to be considered to serve as a library trustee. As Judy explained, I've been involved in the Dover PTO for a number of years, and I have been really impressed by the qualified and energetic participation of the different people who serve on the board every year. And every year it's a little different, and people bring different strengths and qualities, and it always seems to work out. Everything gets done. And I am very impressed to see so many qualified nominees here this evening, and people here who are just engaged in the town. It truly is part of what makes Dover great.
I also feel like the library is a place that makes Dover great. It serves as a good community center for our small little town. So many different resources, innovative ideas, programs going on there, and I'm really excited about getting involved and doing what I can to help out and improve. So I would appreciate your vote in May, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman. Any further nominations? Hearing none, I declare nominations for the 3-year term of library trustee closed. Next, we move to the Cemetery Commission. There's one position, a 3-year term. Do I have any nominations? Mr. Hoffman, the other Mr. Hoffman.
Don't be embarrassed. I'm Pope Hoffman, husband of our esteemed town clerk. Having served on the cemetery committee for a number of years, I've decided to step down. However, I'm very pleased to nominate who I hope will be my successor, Peg Crowley.
Do I hear a second? The nomination has been seconded. Proceed, Mr. Hoffman.
Peg and her husband, Tom, who currently live on Cedar Hill Road, have lived in Dover for 52 years. They've got 4 children and 11 grandchildren. Peg has a BA in English from Emmanuel College and an MED in Counseling Psychology from BC. Peg has served Dover in numerous capacities in both appointed and elected positions. Among them are 9 years on the school committee, 9 years on the Dover-Sherburne Regional School Committee. She is currently the Deputy Director of Emergency Management, as well as being a town constable. Peg's background in counseling, plus her many years of service on a variety of town committees, demonstrates her ability to listen, find solutions, and build consensus. She'd be an excellent addition to the Cemetery Commission, and I urge you all to vote for her at the upcoming election. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman. Are there any other nominations for a Cemetery Commission? Ms. Crowley, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Pope. I'm looking forward to serving on this committee. I view Highland Cemetery as a very integral part of Dover's town center. I'm proud of it. I think we should all be proud of it. And I know that many people have served countless hours managing, maintaining, and making it the cemetery that it is that we are all proud of. So I look forward to being able to contribute to that effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crowley. Are there any other nominations for Cemetery Commission? Hearing none, I declare nominations for Cemetery Commission closed. Next, we move to Planning Board Associate Member. This is a 1-year term, and there's one position open. Any nominations for the Planning Board Associate Member? None. I'm not going to close this yet. We'll come back to it at the end of the meeting so that Mr. Sarro can twist some arms back there to see if he can get some nominees. Next, we move to the Planning Board full membership, 5-year term, one position. Do I have any nominations? Yes.
Hi, my name is Carol Chirico. I live at 38 Mill Street, and I would like to nominate George Sidgwick for the 5-year position to the Planning Board.
Do I hear a second? Nomination has been seconded. Proceed, Ms. Chirico.
Thank you. So George is an 8-year resident of the town of Dover. He has 2 boys who are ages 6 and 8. It's honestly wonderful to have somebody interested in the Planning Board who has relatively young kids and will be impacted by all of the issues that we work on as part of the Planning Board. When George expressed interest in the Planning Board, I invited him to a meeting. And I'm thrilled to say that he's actually attended 3 3-hour meetings to try to absorb as much as he can about the intricacies of the Planning Board, whether it's amending our dead-end regulations or looking at a new potential bylaw amendment or learning about subdivisions and A&Rs and cell tower site plan review. All of these things take a lot of time to sort of absorb, and we are so impressed that he has taken the time to do that while not even having to having an obligation to be there. He's doing it on his own, with his, under his own, on his own time, simply to sort of become a great new member of the board. On a professional perspective, Mr. Sidgwick graduated from Siena College and has an MBA from Boston University. He works for Pioneer Asset Management as an equity research analyst. I've had a number of conversations with him. I've been impressed with his interest in the town, the seriousness with which he wants to just jump in to this position, and I support him wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Are there any other nominations for the 5-year term for Planning Board? Mr. Sidgwick?
Thank you, George Sidgwick. I don't know if this counts for the 4th meeting, but yeah, thanks. I think we have a very unique and special town here. As Carol has mentioned, I've attended a few meetings, a few town planning board meetings, and I've been there enough to know that they're going to be a big part of what this town looks like, 8 years from now. And I'm just happy to potentially be part of that conversation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sidgwick. Any further nominations? Hearing none, I declare nominations for the 5-year term of the Planning Board closed. Next, we move to the Board of Health. There's one position, a 3-year term. Are there any nominations for the Board of Health? Yes, sir. Why don't you come up to the microphone?
Steve Kruskal, 9 Riga Road, currently elected member of the Board of Health. I'd like to nominate Kay Peterson of 25 Wilsondale Road. Kay has been a resident of Dover for approximately 35 years and has, prior to that, been educated at Dartmouth Medical School, trained at Beth Israel Hospital, and was on the staff of the BI for many years. She served as the liaison person for the BI to a group of Boston area colleges and is highly experienced in dealing with communicable disease outbreaks. Kay more intimately, Kay has been the physician at the BI where a number of Boston area physicians have sent their grown children to. She's one of those few unique physicians in Boston where she was just thought to be a consummate clinician and person. Kay has also been asked in the last couple of weeks to consult with the Board of Health over our current challenges, and she's been more than able, filling up the task of doing so, and we certainly welcome her presence in the Board of Health as we face what is currently a very large challenge.
Do I hear a second for Dr. Peterson? Nomination has been seconded. Are there any other nominations for the Board of Health position 3-year term? Dr. Peterson, would you like to say a few words?
When I first started to think about serving on the Board of Health, I thought it would be interesting to learn about water systems and septic systems, and because those are very important in helping people stay healthy. The responsibilities of the boards of health in Massachusetts are enormous. The State Department of Public Health delegates a huge amount to them. I also knew that dealing with communicable disease was part of the responsibility of the Board of Health, but little did I know what life would really be like at this point. So at this point, really, I think the Board of Health is dealing exclusively with coronavirus, but there certainly will be other issues that will be interesting too. I hope that both my background as a primary care physician and my work in public health in the college health arena will play a role in helping me contribute to dealing with this situation that we're dealing with now.
Thank you, Dr. Peterson. Any other nominations for Board of Health? Hearing none, I declare nominations for the Board of Health closed. Next, Parks and Recreation. There's one position, a 3-year term. Any nominations for Parks and Recreation? Okay, let's return to the Planning Board Associate 1-year membership to see if anybody has had a chance to consider this opportunity to serve our town. Okay, and then back to Parks and Recreation. Okay, well, since we do not have more than 2 candidates for each position, I would like to direct the caucus clerk to cast 1 ballot for the caucus, which reflects the names that have been put forward tonight. Couple of reminders. 1, town meeting is Monday, May 4th, and Tuesday, May 5th. Hopefully not Tuesday, May 5th, but certainly Monday, May 4th, starting at 7 p.m. Please try to arrive on time at 7 p.m. because it is going to be a long evening, and I would like to try to get everybody out by 10:30. 11 at the latest. And if we start at 7, we may be able to do that. Town elections will be held Monday, May 18th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Registration for town meeting and the town elections will be accepted by the registrars until Tuesday, April 14th, 2020 from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Before you leave, I would like to ask the nominees to please sign the caucus certificate and pick up campaign finance materials from the town clerk. And I would like to personally thank all of you for your willingness to serve our town. You are the backbone of democracy, and thank you very much for your service and your willingness to participate. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting tonight? The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.